Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Hajra Kamran. I'm from the Department of BS Biotechnology. My roll number is 12 and today the topic of my presentation is X-ray diffraction. Well, the first question arises in our mind that what is X-ray diffraction? So the periodic lattice found in crystalline structure may act as a diffracting grating for wave particles of electromagnetic radiation with wavelength of a similar order of magnitude, that is 1 angstrom. The atomic planes of a crystal causes an incident beam of X-rays to interfere with one another as they come out from the crystal. This phenomenon is called X-ray diffraction. What equipment do you need for XRD? The instrument consists of three main elements: X-ray cathode tube, sample holder, and X-ray detector. Well, a source of X-ray which can be made monochromatic by a filter allow the X-ray beam to fall on the powdered specimen P through the slits S1 and S2. The function of these slits is to get a narrow pencil of X-rays. Fine powder P stuck on a specimen by means of gun is suspended vertically in the axis of a cylindrical camera. This enables sharp lines to be obtained on the photographic film which is surrounded the powder crystal in the form of circular arc. The cathode tube generates X-rays through applying heat to a filament. This produces electrons which are then directed towards a target by applying a voltage. These bombard the target materials, dislodging inner shell electrons within then producing X-rays. The X-rays are then directed onto a sample and the source of X-rays detected in the instrument both rotate. When this geometric movement satisfies the condition for Bragg's law, for the sample being analyzed, constructive interference occurs, causing a peak in intensity. The detector records and processes the signal over converting into a count rate for output to a computer, typical represented intensity versus theta. How do you prepare a sample for XRD? The three things you need for preparing a sample for X-ray diffractions are the sample substance, equipment or a tool to grind it with, and a sample holder. Well, an ideal powder sample should have many crystallites in random orientations. If the crystallites in a sample are very large, there will not be a smooth distribution of crystals orientations. You will not get a powder average diffraction pattern. So crystallites should be 10 mm in size to get good powder statistics. Large crystallite size and non-random crystallite orientations both led to peak intensity variation. First, you have to take a tenth of a gram of a sample substance and then you grind it into a fine powder, and typically this should be done into a fluid to minimize any extra surface energy which might otherwise randomize the sample. Then optimize the size of the powder is less than to 10 micrometers. Next, place this ground powder onto a sample surface or within a holder, and it is important to create a flattened upper sample surface with the random distribution of lattice orientations. How do you collect and interpret XRD data? Well, the X-ray diffract meter continuously records data during the process when both the source and the detector rotate. Peak intensity occur when the d-spacings in the lattice planes of the mineral sample are appropriate to the value of the diffract X-rays. Results are presented as peak positions and X-ray count in a table. The Bragg's equation calculates the d-spacings of each peak. Once you know all the d-spacing in the sample, you can compare these d-spacings of known materials of identification purposes, typically commercially available databases. Known d-spacing for reference are available from more sources. What are the uses of X-ray diffraction? The main use of X-ray is the identification of unknown crystalline materials. This use of X-ray XRD is essential in geology, engineering, biology, material sciences, environmental sciences, battery research, thin film coatings, electronics, and pharmaceutical industries. Apply XRD for defining thin samples. While measuring the latest mismatch between film and substrate to define stresses and strains, analyzing rocking curves to determine dislocation, density, and film quality, measuring superlattice in epitaxial structures that are multi-layered, analyzing lensing, incidence, X-ray reflectivity measurements to determine the thicknesses, density, and roughness of the film. Method of studying the structure of finely crystalline substance using X-ray diffraction is to narrow parallel beam monochromatic X-rays upon falling onto a polycrystalline samples and then reflected by a crystalline that make up a sample, then produces a number of coaxial that is having one common axis and then diffracting these cones. Which industries uses X-ray diffraction? Well, XRD is a available tool for the measurement and a valuable tool for the measurement and an analysis. Pharmaceutical industries, forensic sciences, microelectronics, glass, and geological. What are the advantages and disadvantages of XRD? The main advantages of XRD are: it is rapid and powerful technique for identifying unknown minerals and materials. It is only requires preparation of minimal sample for analysis. Interpreting the resulting data is relatively straightforward. XRD measurement instruments are widely available. What are the limitations of XRD? Well, to best identify an unknown powder material, the sample should be homogeneous. Typically, XRD analysis requires access to standard reference data. Preparation of samples often requires grinding them down to a powder. If the crystal sample is non-isometric, then the indexing of patterns can be complex while determining unit cells. Well, this is all from my side. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.